So, good morning. Today we're having a yoga class, and I'm going to use a sequence from this book, Yoga Sequencing, Mark Stevens, and it's a sequence on yoga for bone health, preventing osteoporosis. So we'll work through some of these postures in the class. And the theme of the class is worry, suffering, and equanimity. So if we could just sit in our mat and we can put our feet together and we can sit in cobbler's pose with our feet together, our knees splayed out. We might put cushions underneath our knees to hold them up, or we might just let gravity help us open our groins a little bit while we're thinking about all of this. I'm going to start with a poem I'm going to read for a little bit, so you'll have to accept my apologies. But I got carried away. So this is by Marilyn Dumont, an Alberta Métis poet, a woman I worked with for many years, and a beautiful writer. And she wrote a poem called "She Worries Beads." She worries beads. Through bead she has swelled, through thread she is held, through needle she is steadfast, pressed, grip polished words more than once against her sacred heart. The beads she worries through now are smooth black river stones, water worried, each bead-berry clasped to the next seed in prayer. Miyo St. Anne, a bead for every morning of her thread, pulling through napew, awasis, maskihkiy, hides, needles, awls, shawls, beads, seeds, trail her, black seeds strung in rosaries, hung above her bed. In sleep, she worries through them. And I'm going to focus on suffering because we worry about things that make us suffer. And in yogic terms, suffering is dukkha, or literally a bad space. And it primarily means discomfort or suffering within our heart mind. And according to Nicolai Bachman in the Path of Yoga Sutras, by exercising keen discernment, or viveka, before making a decision or engaging in action, we can minimize or avoid altogether any negativity that may have resulted from choosing differently. When we do experience a bad space or dukkha, we can try and understand what caused it and how to prevent it from happening again. If we anticipate suffering, we may be able to avoid it. And there's a beautiful poem in Nicolai Bachman from Rumi. And here is the dark thought. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door, laughing, and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So I'll read a little bit later from Pema Chodron's The Places That Scare You, A Guide to Fearlessness in Dark Times, about equanimity. But we'll begin our practice now. And we will, while we are doing our yoga, we will harden our bones. So we're going to move on to our hands and knees. And we're just going to alternately, we're going to just do a little bit of cat and cow here. We can exhale and inhale. We can inhale in cow and exhale in cat. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to move into lifting up our right arm and our left leg and extending them out. And we're going to just inhale and exhale a few times while we're holding this pose. Inhaling and exhaling. Then we're going to lower that leg down on that arm, and we're going to raise the opposite arm and leg. So we're here in a lovely space of thinking about oppositions. Our opposite arm and leg are opening up, and thinking about what it means to be in balance and to find equanimity in the midst of opposition. And we can put our knee and our hand down, and we can lift the other leg up and hold those. And we'll do it one last time on the other side. And we'll lower down. Now we're just going to move into a plank pose, and we're going to hold that for a few breaths. So for bone health, we want to really develop strength, and holding a pose with isometric strength can help us with our bones. And we can, while we're in our plank pose, we can feel our stomach and the treasures of all of our organs moving towards our spine. So we're kind of lifting up from the inside. And we're pressing down into our hands. If you get tired, of course, come down into child's pose. But we're going to rest here in our strengthening plank pose for a few moments. Inhaling and exhaling. And we want to make sure that our head is in line with our spine. We're pressing back through our heels, and we're lifting up our belly. And now we're going to lower into Bidalasana, or child's pose, by just putting our knees down and tilting our hips back. And we'll take a few breaths here. So we're moving from one pose to another. Feeling our way through equanimity and our breath. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And on the next inhalation, we're going to stretch our arms out, lift our hips up into our first downward dog. We're going to rest here, inhaling and exhaling, feeling our thighs move back, our heels move down, we're pressing into our hands. And here, while we're doing this, we can lift our one foot up and press into our toes, lift the other foot up and press into our toes. We can feel we can lift both feet up and press into our toes. We can bend our knees and then lift our hips back and descend our heels, giving us a little more extension in our hamstrings and the back of our calves. Once again, we're pressing into our hands, feeling our sit bones rise up and move towards the back corner of the room. And we're going to step forward and to Ardha Uttanasana with our hands extended to the floor in a forward bend. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And we will come up halfway. Sorry, that was Uttanasana. Now we're in Ardha Uttanasana, a halfway lift. We already have 5 breaths here. And then we're going to just descend into Uttanasana, holding over for a moment. And now we're going to lift up into Tadasana with our arms straight up and going to take 10 breaths here. Opening our shoulders, feeling our chest open. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. And we're going to descend here into a chair, lifting our arms up, pressing behind, back towards the back of the room, feeling the strength in our feet pressing into the ground. And we're just breathing here. We're taking about 5 breaths, so we have a couple more. And now we're going to stand up and we're going to just step back into our warrior 2 here. So our feet are 3 or 4 feet apart or whatever is comfortable. Our body is facing the long side of our mat, back foot on the diagonal, front foot facing the front of our mat. And we're both descending and ascending here. We're feeling the strength of this posture as we move down in the bottom part of from our waist down, and we move up with our head moving up and our arms moving out. And we're just breathing here, feeling our lovely thighs opening out to the front and the back. And we can lift our toes up, feel the inner arch of our feet, give us some energy, ignite our bodies. And now we're going to move into the side angle by just stretching out, 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 keeping out, out, and then dropping down. We can put our hand on our thigh, our arm on our thigh, and lift our top arm over. So we have a lovely diagonal here. And if you like, you can descend down. You can put your hand down on a block here or on the ground and feel the opening a little bit more intensely. And we're coming up, up into Trikonasana with our legs straight out. And we're going to descend down with our hand on our shin into Trikonasana and feel our ribs and our hips connect here so our ribs aren't sticking out. And the bottom part of our body is also, of our torso is also extending out. And we're just shifting at the hip here. We can look up and breathe, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And we're going to lift up into our wide angle forward bend here. And we're just going to drop our hands down. We can extend our arms out in front of us and feel the lengthening of our spine. And we can feel the energy in our feet moving into the ground, grounding us. And our hip bones, our tailbone is moving up. We're tilting it up. Our legs are straight. This is a lovely stretch. Of course, you can be up here on your fingertips or on blocks, whichever makes you feel comfortable. And we'll do a couple of movements just from one side to another. So we're going to move towards the left side first. Move our hands towards the left. And you can hold onto your ankles if you're able to, and feel that stretch. Or you can just keep your arms on the floor. And we're using our breath and time to allow the muscles to extend and open out. So this isn't really a flow class. This is more a hatha yoga class where we are incorporating time into our practice. And we're going to now move our hands over to the right side. And here you can just come up on your fingertips if that's more comfortable, or you can hold onto your ankles and open your elbows out. This will help you extend down towards your leg. Once again, we're pressing into our feet. We can lift our toes up, feel the arches of our feet ignite. This helps us maintain the outer edges of our feet on the ground. And now we're going to come back to the center and come up onto our hands. We can wiggle our feet in a little bit so that we can maintain our balance, and we can tip up again. Here we are. Now we're going to just do our standing postures to the other side. So we can turn in this case, it's my left foot out, my right foot in, and I'm moving into a warrior pose. Virabhadrasana II. And I'm trying to, I can see in the image on the screen that my back leg is not straight. So I'm really pressing into the outer edge of my back foot to straighten out my back leg. And once again, I can go down, down, down from the bottom to the bottom and up, up, up on the top of my body and out. Inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling. And we are now extending our left arm out, and we're dropping our arm down into a side angle, and we're feeling that beautiful diagonal and trying to open our chest up towards the ceiling while we extend our back foot out. Keep a connection between our ribs and our hips. Imagine there's a little thread there, and feel the jewels of our organs and our belly moving back towards our spine as we look up and feel our breath expanding our body into a place we couldn't have imagined a few moments ago. And now we're going to just come up here and move into Konasana. So once again, bending at the hip with our at that little bend and dropping our hand down to our shin, extending our upper arm up and looking up. Breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And we're lifting up and turning our feet in, and we'll just go down again into that forward fold for a moment. And this time, we're going to just put our hands as close to between our feet as we can and bend our elbows and try and keep our spines straight. Our head should be in line with our spine. And if you feel like it, you can see if you can drop your head down. And if you want to, you can open your feet out and see if you can put your head on the ground. This has eluded me, but anyway, I'm working on it. And eventually you can lift your feet up and go into a headstand with a tripod. Although I'm not sure at this point in my life I'm ready for this, although I used to be able to do that. And now we're just going to straighten out our arms again underneath us, wiggle our feet in a bit, hands on our hips, and with a straight spine we can rotate up and come in. Good. Now we're going to stand here now. This is a balance pose, an eagle pose. We're going to lift our right leg up and wrap it around our left. We can put our foot on a block or on the floor if we can't balance. Otherwise, we can, in fact, just wrap our leg right around our calf. And if our right leg is over, I think I think this is the way it is. I always get this backwards, but oops. And if you fall out of it, that's fine. Our path towards equanimity is full of ups and downs and failure. There are 1,000 ways to fail in yoga, and they're all just a way to move into the posture. And now we're going to unfurl our arms, unfurl our legs, and once again, we're going to just cross our other leg over. We can put it on the ground or wrap it around our calf, whatever is possible. And if our right leg is over, I think our right arm is under here. Anyway, I may be wrong here. We'll have to look this up later. We're sinking down and we're trying to balance. And we'll just open it all out and come up. We're going to do the tree pose now with our, we'll start with our left leg on the floor, lifting up our right leg. And we're just moving back and forth with our knee, feeling our balance. And then we can position our foot on our inner thigh, wherever it lands. And we are looking forward with our hands together, or you can raise your arms up if that's possible. I'm falling in and out of it, so I may not raise my hands up this time. We're finding a focal point or drishti to concentrate on to help us with our balance here. And now we can lift our leg up and place it down. We'll try the other leg there. We're standing on our right foot, lifting our left leg up. And once again, finding our drishti, our focal point, and we can lift our arms up if we're in a good space here. Our sides are not balanced. Once again, inhaling and exhaling. And then we can lower our arms, lower our leg, and stand. Okay, good. Well, we can go back into downward dog here, and we'll stay here for a while. So this is intended, the bone enhancing qualities of this practice are in staying in the pose. If you find it difficult, just come down into child's pose. But the importance here is of pressing into the hands, pressing into the feet in downward dog, and feeling the hip bones rise up. And I'm just going to be quiet here for a few moments and let us just breathe and feel the beautiful opening in our back body as we inhale and exhale. Now we're going to lift up on our tippy toes. We're going to extend our right leg back and up, and we're going to lower our left leg. Then we're going to bring our right leg in to touch our left elbow, and we're going to extend it back and lift it up. And we're going to go into the center and extend it back and lift it up. And we're going to go to the right elbow with our knee and extend the leg back and lift it up. And lower that leg. Find your pose again, your downward dog. And we're going to do it on the other side. Extending our left leg up and back. And pointing our toe. And then bend your knee into your left elbow and back into the center and back and into our right elbow. And we can open our leg up, stack our hips one on top of the other, and feel that lovely opening as we drop our foot to our spine. And then we'll extend it back, drop our foot down, and we'll do the same on the other side, opening that other hip up. Drop, bending our knee, stacking our hips, and we can flex our feet and really feel the opening, press into the front of our, in this case, my right hip. And then we can extend that leg back and move back into a downward dog. Now we're going to drop our knees to the ground And we're going to stretch out prone on the ground and work on our locust pose. So we're pressing our forehead into the ground, and we are lifting our shoulders up, keeping our forehead in the ground, and then dropping them down. And lifting our shoulders up one more time and dropping them down. And this time when we lift our shoulders up, we're going to lift our head up and our chest, and our hands with our palms are facing up. So we're going to inhale and exhale, and then now inhale, lift our shoulders and heads and hands, and lower. And once again, we're going to lift our hands, arms up, shoulders and hands, and we can lift our legs up by pointing our toes out and feeling our thighs rise off the ground potentially. And once again, our chest is opening out here. And we're inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're coming down again. And we'll do it one last time, lifting everything up off the ground, feeling a tremendous surge of energy. Exhale, and now inhale, and up we come. Breathing here, breathing, pointing our toes, keeping our legs straight, lifting our chest up, feeling our arms fly out. There we go, and down again. And we're going to now hold on to our feet. If we can, we'll hold on to our right foot, bending our knee, and we can stretch our right arm out. And then we can let that foot fall to the ground. We can hold on to our left foot and feel we can extend our leg, our foot out, and feel it opening up the left side of our body. And now we can see if we can hold on to both of our feet in bow pose, and we can pull them into our body. And now we'll lift up, extending our feet out, pressing our pelvis into the ground, and feeling a tremendous opening in the chest and the opportunity to really inhale and exhale. The very fiery pose. Now we can pull our feet into our buttocks and rest on the ground with our hands under our forehead for a moment. We can turn our toes in and just rest here. Now from here, we're just going to press up with our hands, and we're going to bring our right foot in, and we're going to do a pigeon pose since we happen to be on the ground, and this is a convenient space to do it. So we can lift our foot up into a right angle or whatever angle feels good for you, extending our back leg back on the ground, or front of our foot flat on the ground, and we'll just we can maintain an open chest here and move slowly into pigeon. You can do it in a way that feels very comfortable for you. I'm going to descend down now onto my forearms with my hands flat on the ground. And once again, I'm still trying to open my chest out a bit so that I'm breathing evenly and feeling that opening in my right glute. And I can lower down onto the ground here, if I may, or you can stay up on blocks with your arms straight. And I'm just going to rest here. once again feeling the opening. And I'm going to come back. Straight arms again. Extend that right leg out and change my legs, opening my left leg onto right angle, flexing my feet, extending my back leg down further back, sliding it on the mat, and once again, opening out my chest so that I feel a real opening in the chest so I can breathe easily. And this is a great hip opener for the extended back leg and a glute extender for the bent knee. And once again, I'm going to go down onto my forearms, resting here and breathing, feeling that stretch. And I'm going to extend down now into my arms out. You shouldn't feel any pain in your knee at all. Flexing your foot helps with that. If you feel any pain in your knee or anywhere, just come up. This is your class, and you're your own teacher. I'm just your guide. And now come up onto your hands again and extend that leg back. Come up on your hands and knees, and we're going to move into bridge pose. So we're moving onto our back with our knees bent, our feet on the floor. We're just going to rest here with our hands on our chest. I just have my hands on my ribs, and I'm feeling my ribs open out as I breathe, making sure that when I inhale, I go deep into my breath, and I can feel the ribs open and close as I'm breathing. Now I'm extending my hands down with the flat of the hand on the ground, and we're going to move into the bridge here just by tilting our pelvis up and then tilting it down back onto the ground. And we're going to tilt our pelvis up again and off the ground slightly, and then we'll tilt it back onto the ground. And here we can either hold on to the outside of our mat, or we can move into clasping our hands underneath us and moving our shoulders underneath us. So here we are, extending our shoulders underneath our back, extending our hips up, and there we go. There. Here we go. So we're extending our pelvis up, and our knees are moving towards the opposite wall. Our thighs are moving up, and our shoulders and forearms are pressing into the ground. And we're going to roll down again. And we can bring our knees up, pressing them into our body, rolling a little bit back and forth to give our back a little bit of a massage. And we'll do the bridge one more time here. And we're going to If you feel like it, you can move into wheel if that's in your wheelhouse, so to speak. But I'm going to stay in bridge. Here we go. We're back up again, pressing into our feet, moving our knees together, extending them towards the opposite wall, thighs up. And I'm just going to breathe here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, filling our entire chest towards our belly, and then exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to extend our arms out and lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Once again, lifting our legs up. And we can do a figure 4 here, putting our left foot over our right near our knee on our thigh in a figure 4, and we can clasp behind our knee or our shin here and pull our knee into our body. And we can clasp, we can then open our legs out and bend our right knee, and once again thread the needle and hold on to either the back of our left thigh or our left shin, and we can pull our leg into our body, giving us once again a lovely stretch of the glute. And you can also I feel my spine articulating here quite nicely, and it's a lovely massage. And once again, we're going to put our feet on the ground with our knees bent and feel a lovely supine twist. You can open your arms out. You can drop your knees to one side and then look in the opposite direction. You can lift your knees up and move them into the other direction, looking in the opposite direction. And then you can lift your knees up. Now you can repeat that, just dropping your knees from one side to the other, or you can cross one foot over, lift your hips up, and drop your knees with that little extra pressure from your leg being caught underneath your knee. And once again, looking in the opposite direction. Here I'm going to use my arm that is on the same side as the bent knees, and I'm going to use it as a second hand to stretch out my shoulders and come back. And you can follow it with your eyes or your head if you like. And once again, I'm coming back. And I'm going to move my knees back move your hips into the central position, neutral. And I'm going to extend my left leg up, bend the knee, drop my foot underneath and lift my hips up, and then drop my legs to the floor with my left foot caught under my knees. And once again, I'm going to look towards the opposite hand and use that. I'm going to use this arm now to go around. And again. And I'm going to use the opposite hand too, since I did it on the opposite side, but it's I'm just using this to circle the shoulder all the way around. And then I'm using the other arm once again to come forward and back. If you have any sticky spots in your shoulder, you can stop there. If it's painful, you can raise the arm above the ground. You don't want to cause any unnecessary pain. You want to challenge yourself. So some stretching is useful, but no unnecessary pain. And then we're going to move our hips back into neutral, put our feet on the floor, and we're going to just rest here with our knees bent and our hands at our sides. Now we can lift our knees up and put our feet straight up. So this is an inversion. We're feeling our blood below our limbs, our heart below our limbs. So it's providing a little bit of this stretch of an inversion. Now, if you have a strap, you can hold onto the strap, or you can just feel the weight of your legs under your heels. You're stretching your heels straight up. And you can open your right leg to the side here, feeling an opening, and keep your left leg pressing up into the ceiling. And in this lovely opening here, you can feel gravity allowing you to your foot to descend. And then you can lift it up. You can once again drop your right knee to the right side, and you can extend it out. And using the inner thigh, you can lift that leg up again, pressing into the heel. And you can extend your left leg out, drop it to the floor, and using the strength of your inner thigh, you can lift it up. And once again, drop it to the floor and lift it up. Now you can drop your right leg to the ground in front of you, and then we'll just use this as an opportunity for your left leg to cross over your body, and you can lift your hip up and keep your shoulders on the ground while you are steadying yourself and feeling that twist of your left leg over the yawning space, and lift it up and open it out again, and then lift it up. And we're going to drop that leg to the floor, open your right leg up to the ceiling, and drop it over, crossing it over your body. And then opening it out. And lifting it up. Good. And now we're just going to put our feet on the ground, and we're going to make our way to a sitting position here. We're just going to sit in Dandasana, and we're going to extend our arms, our spine straight out towards our feet, and then we're going to round over our feet and do a forward fold, which is a nice counterpoint to the bridge we've just done. You can hold on to a strap here, or the outer edge of your feet, or the upper part of your toes and your foot, and feel yourself rounding over your spine. And you can use your elbows here to give you a little more traction, to open yourself a little bit further to the ground. Breathing, inhaling, and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. And now we're going to come up. And we can, in fact, move into Shavasana if we like at this point. And, or you can put your legs up a wall if you like and have that inversion continue. Or you can lower your feet down. You can keep your feet bent. You can put a bolster underneath your thighs. Or you can stretch your legs out into Shavasana and feel, and you can nestle your body into your mat. You can feel a little body scan. You can wiggle your toes and point them and then relax them. Stretch your heels out and stretch your legs out and then relax. You can lift your hips up and tense your buttocks, and then you can relax. You can lift your waist up and then drop it. Lift your chest up and drop it. You can squeeze your hands into a fist and then extend them out. Fist and extend them out. Wiggle your fingers. And you can lift your arms off the floor and shake them out and then drop them to the ground. You can lift your shoulders to your ears and then stretch them out towards your feet and then drop them down. You can move your head from side to side and then feel a beautiful relaxation as your head finds a space of equilibrium on the ground. You can open your face up into a wide stretch, stretching open your mouth, and then relax. You can drop your tongue into the bottom, into your lower jaw. Feel it relax. You can squinch your face up, squeezing your eyes together, and then drop them down. You can close your eyes and then move your eyeballs, looking from one corner of your eye to the other, moving them back and forth, giving them a little bit of an exercise. You can look up with your eyeballs and down, up and down, back and forth, up and down, and then relax your eyes. Feel your breath moving evenly. And you're going to rest here for a few moments. And I'm just going to read briefly from, once again, from Rumi, the Sufi poet. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And Pema Children, the Buddhist monk, writes in The Places That Scare You, A Guide to Fearlessness in Difficult Times. To cultivate equanimity, we practice catching ourselves when we feel attraction or aversion before it hardens into grasping or negativity. We train in staying with the soft spot and use our biases as stepping stones for connecting with the confusion of others. Strong emotions are useful in this regard. Whatever arises, no matter how bad it feels, can be used to extend our kinship to others who suffer the same kind of aggression or craving, who just like us get hooked by hope and fear. This is how we come to appreciate that everyone's in the same boat. We all desperately need more insight into what leads to happiness and what leads to pain. An on-the-spot equanimity practice is to walk down the street with the intention of staying as awake as possible to whomever we meet. This is training in being emotionally honest with ourselves and becoming more available to others. As we pass people, we simply notice whether we open up or shut down. We notice if we feel attraction, aversion, or indifference without adding anything extra like self-judgment. We might feel compassion towards someone who looks depressed or cheered up by someone who's smiling to herself. We might feel fear of and aversion to another person, even without knowing why. Noticing where we open up and where we shut down without praise or blame is the basis of our practice. Practicing this way for even one block of a city street can be an eye-opener. We can take the practice even further by using what comes up as a basis for empathy and understanding. Closed feelings like fear or revulsion thus become an opportunity to remember that others also get caught this way. Open states like friendliness and delight also connect us very personally with the people that we pass on the street. Either way, we are stretching our hearts. And with that, you can feel your body reawaken and your sensorium expand into the day. You can stretch out your limbs, wiggle your fingers and feet. And if you feel like it, you can roll onto one side and sit up and greet the day. So with that, I will welcome you into this beautiful day. Here it's a bit smoky because of wildfires, but it promises to be a good day. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.